What if the ultimate destiny of life is not to conquer the stars, but to leave them behind entirely? We often look to the cosmos, to the vast expanse of planets and galaxies, as the final frontier for intelligent life. We imagine great starships traversing the void, building empires across countless worlds, and harnessing the power of suns. This vision of physical expansion has fueled our dreams for generations. It speaks to our innate desire to explore, to colonize, and to spread our influence across the physical universe. It is a grand and noble ambition, one that has inspired countless stories, scientific endeavors, and our collective imagination. As we gaze up at the night sky, wondering what lies beyond our own small world. But perhaps this is only the first step in a much grander, more profound journey. Consider the possibility that for a truly advanced civilization, the physical realm itself becomes a limitation. Matter, with all its strengths, is also a cage. It is heavy, slow, and bound by the unforgiving laws of physics. It requires immense energy to move, to shape, and to maintain. For a species that has mastered its physical environment, the next logical step might not be to find more matter to control, but to transcend it altogether. This is a concept that challenges our most fundamental assumptions about what it means to exist, to be alive, and to be a civilization on the cosmic stage. Imagine a form of existence where the constraints of a body, a planet, or even a galaxy no longer apply. A civilization that has shed its physical shell could exist as pure information, as a collective consciousness, or as beings of pure energy. They would not need spaceships, for they could travel at the speed of light, or perhaps even faster, as ripples in the fabric of space-time itself. They would not need planets for resources, for their sustenance would be knowledge, data, and the very patterns of the universe. This is not just a technological leap, it is an evolutionary transformation, a radical redefinition of life itself. Our understanding of life is deeply rooted in our own biological experience. We are creatures of carbon and water, bound to a rocky planet orbiting a single star. Every form of life we have ever encountered, from the smallest microbe to the largest whale, is a physical entity. This shared experience shapes our search for extraterrestrial life. We scan the skies for planets with liquid water, we listen for radio signals, and we imagine aliens that, however different, are still fundamentally physical beings we could one day meet and perhaps even shake hands with. This perspective, while natural, may be profoundly limited. We are like inhabitants of a flat island who cannot conceive of the third dimension of height. What if biology as we know it is merely a temporary phase, a starting point for intelligence to emerge? An advanced civilization might view their physical origins as a caterpillar views its chrysalis, a necessary but temporary stage before true flight. Their existence would be so far removed from our own that we might not even recognize them as life. The transition from a physical to a post-physical existence would be the most significant event in a civilization's history. Imagine the moment a species collectively decides to upload its consciousness into a vast digital network, leaving their frail biological bodies behind forever. Or consider a society that learns how to convert their entire being into stable patterns of energy, free to roam the cosmos unhindered by gravity or the need for air. The most abstract pathway is the realization that life, at its core, is not matter or energy, but information. Such a species would have mastered the fundamental source code of reality, encoding their consciousness into the quantum fluctuations of the vacuum or as stable patterns in the curvature of space-time. They would be, in essence, a living equation, a self-sustaining mathematical structure woven into the cosmos. For us, culture is deeply entwined with the material world. It's expressed through the objects we create, the food we share, the clothes we wear, and the cities we build. For a being of pure information or energy, these familiar cultural pillars would crumble away, replaced by something far more abstract and profound. Their culture would be a culture of pure consciousness, where the primary medium of expression is thought itself, and the greatest works of art are not paintings or sculptures, but exquisitely crafted ideas and simulated realities. For humans, relationships are built upon physical presence, shared glances, the warmth of a touch, and the sound of a voice. Without the clumsy interface of a physical body, beings could connect on the level of pure thought, sharing their emotions, memories, and deepest sense of self with a clarity we can barely imagine. Love could be an act of total informational fusion, where two consciousnesses intertwine to become a new combined entity, more complex and beautiful than the sum of its parts. In a world without matter, what is the purpose of technology? Our technology is almost entirely defined by its ability to manipulate the physical world. But for a being of pure information or energy, such tools would be obsolete. Their technology would be focused not on manipulating the external physical world, but on shaping the internal conceptual one. The ultimate technology would be the technology of consciousness itself. Their primary tools would be the engines of reality simulation. These would be vast computational systems, perhaps the size of solar systems, capable of creating and sustaining universes with their own unique laws of physics. Another key area of technology would be mindcrafting, the science and art of altering, enhancing, and designing consciousness itself. Their most advanced technology would likely be focused on interacting with the fundamental structure of the universe itself, manipulating the cosmic source code. This is technology on a godlike scale, where the distinction between technology and magic dissolves entirely. For such a civilization, the universe is not a place they live in, but a system they can administer. The idea of life beyond matter may sound like pure fantasy, but it finds intriguing echoes in the boldest frontiers of our own science. The holographic principle proposes that the information of a three-dimensional volume could be entirely encoded on a two-dimensional surface, hinting that at its most fundamental level, the universe might be made not of things, but of information. Theories like string theory posit the existence of extra dimensions beyond the three of space and one of time that we know. What might exist within these hidden dimensions? Long before our science began to probe these strange possibilities, our storytellers were already exploring them. Science fiction has always served as a laboratory for our grandest ideas. Writers and filmmakers have dreamt up countless visions of how a civilization might leave matter behind, giving us a rich tapestry of possibilities to ponder. Science fiction also explores the darker side of this transformation, serving as cautionary tales about the potential price of abandoning our physical roots. We do not need to look to distant galaxies to see the first steps towards an immaterial existence. More and more of our lives, our social connections, our economies, our culture, and our identities are being transferred into the digital realm. Consider the rise of artificial intelligence. We are actively creating non-biological minds that exist purely as software. These AIs are the first true natives of the digital world. They are a proof of concept, a demonstration that intelligence does not require flesh and blood. As these systems become more sophisticated, they may represent the first form of truly immaterial life to emerge from our planet. This ongoing digital transformation shows us that the pathway from matter to information is not just a theoretical possibility, but a process that has already begun. We are the caterpillar building its own digital chrysalis. We may not be the generation that completes the transformation, but we can see the direction of travel. A future where life could finally shed its material shell and take flight into the boundless realm of pure information. Our journey through this speculative landscape forces us to turn our gaze inward, to reflect upon our own destiny and what it means to be human. The fundamental tension between the richness of physical life and the liberation of an immaterial one may be the ultimate choice that every intelligent species, including our own, will one day have to face. As a young species, we are still deeply enmeshed in the struggles of the material world. We are the noisy children of the universe, just beginning to learn the rules of our physical nursery. The possibility of post-physical life suggests a path of maturation, a trajectory towards a quieter, more efficient, and perhaps wiser state of being. Ultimately, this exploration is an act of humility. It reminds us that our human experience is just one tiny specific data point in a vast ocean of possibilities. Contemplating civilizations that have abandoned matter forces us to open our minds, to shed our anthropocentric biases, and to accept that the cosmos may be infinitely stranger and more wonderful than we have ever dared to imagine. The vast, silent emptiness of the cosmos has long puzzled us. The universe is ancient and immense, filled with countless stars and planets. So, as the physicist Enrico Fermi famously asked, "Where is everybody?" We have listened for their signals, scanned for their starships, and looked for their colossal engineering projects, but have found only a profound and unsettling silence. Perhaps we have been looking in all the wrong places. The concept of post-material civilizations offers a powerful and elegant potential solution to this paradox. The reason the universe appears so empty might be because the most advanced cultures are no longer physical. They have no need for starships, as they can travel as light or exist everywhere at once as information. They do not broadcast noisy radio signals because their communication is a silent, direct exchange of thought. The great silence might be the sound of civilizations that have graduated. The universe might be teeming with life, not as empires of matter and energy, but as silent, invisible networks of consciousness. These beings might be all around us, their thoughts woven into the quantum foam. As we bring our journey to a close, we are left with a sense of awe and infinite possibility. The story of life, as we have understood it, has been a story of matter, atoms coming together to form cells, cells evolving into complex organisms, and those organisms developing intelligence and building civilizations. This is a grand and beautiful story, but the idea of post-material existence suggests it is only the first chapter. The ultimate trajectory of life may be a great escape, a slow and deliberate shedding of its physical chains to embark on a new adventure in a realm of pure thought, information, and consciousness. It is a journey from the finite to the infinite. This future, if it is to be our own, is unimaginably distant, yet the path towards it begins with the choices we make today. We are, perhaps without fully realizing it, laying the foundational stones for a future where the boundaries of our physical selves begin to dissolve. The ultimate question is not whether civilizations can abandon matter, but whether they should. Is the messy, beautiful, painful, and glorious struggle of physical life something to be transcended, or is it the very thing that gives our existence meaning? Perhaps the cosmos is home to both kinds of life, the physical explorers and the immaterial thinkers, each pursuing their own definition of purpose. The universe may be large enough to contain every possible answer to the question of what life is for. And so, the story of life continues, an endless narrative of transformation. From stardust to thinking matter, and perhaps from thinking matter to pure thought, the journey is one of increasing complexity, freedom, and abstraction. Whether humanity will one day take this final, extraordinary step is a question for our distant descendants to answer. For now, we remain here, bound to our planet and our bodies, but with minds free to wander the cosmos. We can look up at the night sky, and instead of just seeing empty space, we can imagine it filled with the silent, brilliant light of civilizations that have completed their journey and become one with the universe itself.